I had just enough time to kind of start chanting kiss, 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 and then they did, and in my head I feel like it was to please people, but I don't feel pleased about it. Maybe nothing's going on, or maybe there is someone in my house that I don't know about, and they're just like so in love, like their lives are changed because they've found each other. Action-packed and suspenseful and not going well. I'm really eating it up. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really eating it up. One thing you need to know about me, if you don't know anything else, is that I'm always on the second half of the bell curve for hype for pretty much anything. I will see something come out, see so many people be excited about it, see so many people like jumping on the hype train, and then it'll be a few months down the line, I'm like, oh shoot, I never actually like read that or watched that. And I'm trying to be better about that because it's more fun to like read things whenever everyone's excited about them. But this video is anticipated new releases. New is broad, but these are like new releases within the year, 100%, that I'm excited to read, that a few other people have been excited to read. Of the 3 books that I am reading in this video, 2 I recommend to you, 1 I disliked and it was hard to get through. You'll have to see if you can guess those correctly, but I started with Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and then I move into You Belong Here by Megan Miranda. This is a super new release, July 29th. This is my record for reading a book when it comes out. And then I read Great Big Beautiful Life, The Great BBL by Emily Henry. This is the UK version that I have, makes me feel so fancy. I love talking about what I'm reading as I read it, so I hope you enjoy it too. Have you read any of these books? What did you think about them? Do we agree? Do we disagree? I'm excited to take you through the past few weeks reading my anticipated new releases. I am getting ready to start anticipated new release number 1, Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I feel like most people, my first Taylor Jenkins Reid was Malibu Rising, and then obviously 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and then obviously Carrie Soto is back. And so the fact that I have one that's just like sitting here waiting for me, I am so pumped for. I have seen several people read this, and I feel like it's been pretty well received so far. I kind of wanted to go in just not knowing anything, just total blank slate as I entered the book. However, I have seen some people say that in the beginning it's like setting things up to where it was helpful to know the premise before going in, and so I have kind of looked a little deeper into that. I'm trying not to have too high of expectations, but also the whole gag of a highly anticipated new release is that I am like really anticipating it being good. So I'm so excited just to sit down and dive into this, and I'll let you know more once I've read a bit. I have made it to page 82 in Atmosphere, and I am loving this so far. This is the type of book that I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid has had this effect on me before. It does not happen often, but to where I don't want to read it that fast because I want to just soak it all in so much as I'm reading it. The only other books that I can think of that have done that have been, to an extent, some other Taylor Jenkins Reids. Like I think Malibu Rising kind of gave me that feeling, and then also Beartown gave me that feeling where I like didn't want to fly too fast through it because I just wanted to like be reading it for a long time. Page 82 though, and I have gotten a bit more of an idea of like what this book is about and what we're doing. Kind of like I told you, except I forget exactly what I told you because I didn't know going into this. We're following Joan. She's our main character, and she is a female astronaut, and we're getting 2 pieces of time. One of them is that we're following Joan in her journey of becoming an astronaut, which has been so fun so far because she is so excited and so into space and NASA and like learning everything that it makes the reader so excited. There's a lot of like terminology and specifics about the space programs and like rockets and the training and everything that I did not know much about going into it, but I don't feel like my like lack of knowledge is inhibiting me in any way. Like Taylor Jenkins Reid seems like become knowledgeable on these things, and then also written it in a way to where we're just like learning along with Joan and excited with her as like she's starting this new program. She's like meeting the people that she's going to do this program with, which it seems like this group of people is going to be a big deal throughout the whole book. So the people we've met so far are Steve, Griff, Hank, Lydia, and Vanessa that are all like in her class of astronaut candidates. And I will say we are learning learning. Some of them I feel like I'm like getting to know the character. Some of them I feel like right now at this point I like couldn't really differentiate. Like most of the boys I really couldn't differentiate from each other, like Hank, Griff, Steve. So maybe they'll get some more distinguishing characteristics as the book goes on. Like that's my only complaint so far, is like at this point it's just kind of hard to keep track of like who the men are. And we're starting to see what I imagine is going to be a little romance budding, which I do fear for that happening, because I do fear that it'll break my heart. I don't know yet, but we're getting the little kind of like flirty uncertainty interactions so far, which is exciting. But so we're doing that timeline, and then at the same time, like I said, we also are jumping occasional chapters to a current mission that they are on, which is action-packed and suspenseful and not going well. And I I fear we're not gonna find out until like the end of the book how the mission actually ends. Like right now, not good things have already happened and I'm feeling a little stressed by it. Joan is mission control, so she's having to like really keep herself together, as the people that I'm assuming are like the ones that are closest to her that she has experienced all of this with are in the mission. I'm just saying I'm assuming, because in the past timeline chapters we're not like that far into it, so we haven't really seen fully like friendships develop. And right now the pacing's really good too, to where we get a bit of like the current day mission that's happening, and then we'll spend like a few chapters in the past to where it's like just enough that then once we jump back to the future I'm like, oh no, like now I know more, and so like this affects me more. All that to say, if you couldn't guess, I'm loving this so far. I am excited to keep reading it, but also there's that part of me that's like, slow down, soak it in. I don't want to be done with this book, but it's really good so far. I have reached page 226 of Atmosphere, so I want to give you another update. I am still really liking it. I will say we are deeper into the romance now, and while it is good, it felt very insta-lovey to me, and I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid had to I feel like I was playing catch up. Like she was telling me how connected they were and how much time they're spending together, how deep their conversations are, and I felt like she was telling me it like after it was happening, so I was like, wait, what? Like I was so excited for the romance when it first started, because it was the feelings of the, ooh, will they, won't they, but I feel like as soon as they crossed the threshold of being in a relationship, it really just felt like we flipped on a dime, and all of a sudden it was like everything all at once, while also not being just like so diving in deep that I'm just like so deep involved in it with them. So that's kind of put me off a little bit in this like second third of the book that we're in. However, I am really loving the aunt-niece relationship, and I feel like anytime we're seeing that, I'm just like loving Joan's niece Frances and seeing them together. There are parts that are aggravating, if you've read it you know, but like I am loving seeing that relationship, and I feel like it's kind of making up for my questioning of the romantic relationship. And there are great scenes between Joan and her romantic interest, but I just don't know, I'm just like not all the way in it. It has been a while also since we've gone to the current chapters of like what's currently going on in the mission, and the last time we were in the mission it was very much leaving off on a cliffhanger, so I am very ready to go back there. Every time I pick it up I'm like, I'm just gonna read until we get back to the mission, and then we're like not getting back to the mission, so it's just still a cliffhanger for me. But I also feel like after getting to know all these people, I am starting to like be able to differentiate them. Like I know different things about them, so all of the characters I'm getting to know better obviously as the book goes on. I want to go back and like reread the mission chapters now, knowing what I know now, like knowing who I know now, because I do think it would hit harder and I would like understand what's going on. I am also just so fearful for the end, when the end is coming, because I've seen people reading this book say that it like tore their heart a little bit, and it could be so many different ways that that happens, and so I'm feeling like apprehensive about what the ending is going to be. The last time I filmed a reading vlog, like a year and a half ago, going on 2 years, I wore this sweatshirt the entire time, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're gonna wear this sweatshirt apparently the whole time for this reading vlog today too. I finished Atmosphere at work today, which was kind of bold because from what I'd seen of people reading it, it was like the last 30 pages or so is when like they really were feeling feelings. And I will say I was feeling feelings too, as evidenced by, I don't know how well you were able to tell, but the little video I tried to take in my office that I teared up. I had tears. None of them fell down my cheeks, but I did have tears towards the end. Things that stay the same and things that changed. I still think that my favorite relationship through this whole book was that between Joan and her niece. That was just such a cool relationship. That was not picturesque, but I just loved how it was written, and I loved throughout the book how Joan was like showing the ways that she cared for her niece and making sure that her niece felt that. Like there was a lot of good quotes I feel like around that. I really was between making this like have a spoiler section or keep it non-spoiler, and I think since it's still a pretty new book, I'm gonna keep it non-spoiler. But the ending had a lot of just like beautiful passages. I feel like beautiful feelings, beautiful passages. I wish I could read them to you, but I don't want to spoil anything. And it was like really great writing that I feel like was very compelling and really like dug deep into like the heart, even in like existential ways towards the end. And in my opinion, I think this might be where I vary from other people who have read this, so I'm curious what you think if you read it too. In my opinion, I think Taylor Jenkins Reid really wanted to end the book one certain way, but was scared that people wouldn't like it, and so like backpedaled just like very quickly at the end. I feel like she wanted to have one ending, and I needed her to commit to that. I feel like it would have been so much more powerful if she had committed to that, and instead she didn't. And in my head I feel like it was to please people, but I don't feel pleased about it. If it had ended the way that I not like wanted it to, like I didn't want it to end that way, but if it had ended the way that I wanted it to, I think it would have been a very powerful book. And I feel like now it's kind of just like more of a story. That being said, I still loved it. Like the character development was good. It was atmospheric, I feel like, in the way of whenever Joan was like so excited and starting at NASA and like becoming an astronaut candidate. Was it? Yeah, I was gonna say astronaut in training, which I guess it is, but astronaut candidate. Like I feel like it was atmospheric, and the like starting a new job that you're really excited for. Like you like felt that. It wasn't atmospheric, I feel like, in the same way that like Malibu Rising was, where it was like California atmospheric, like the literal setting. This one I feel like was more just like her setting in time of her life. Was very well done. Frustrating part, beautiful part. Overall, I decided to give it a 4.25, which I know is just like so specific, but I feel like it was better than a 4, and I do recommend reading it, and I also like want to hear from people who have read it. But there were just like the little aspects for me, like the ending, like the insta love, that didn't make it be like a 5-star for me, but I really enjoyed the reading experience. So you might be curious, what's next in our TBR for the video? This is a book that I've been waiting to read since I received it in the mail a couple months ago, but its release date is coming up July 29th, so it felt very perfect to read it for this video. It is You Belong Here by Megan Miranda. This is an ARC that I got sent from a Goodreads giveaway, like literally just won the giveaway. And I feel like this is such a thriller cover. Like a lot of thriller covers look like this, but I really love, I didn't even notice it for the longest, but like the title is You Belong Here, but then you can see the little don't. Usually I'll try to summarize not just by like reading the back, but since this one hasn't come out yet and it's just like the tiny little blurb in the back, since it's an ARC copy, I want to tell you what it's about like accurately. Beckett Bowery never thought she'd return to Wyatt Valley, a picturesque college town in the Virginia mountains steeped in tradition. Her roots there were strong. Beckett's parents taught at that college, and she never even imagined studying anywhere else until a tragedy her senior year ended with 2 local men dead and her roommate on the run, never to be seen again. For the last 2 decades, Beckett has done her best to keep her distance. Then her daughter Delilah secretly applies to Wyatt College and earns a full scholarship, and Beckett can only hope that her lingering fears are unfounded. But deep down, she knows that Wyatt Valley has a long memory and that the past isn't the only dangerous thing in town. Total different vibe from Atmosphere that we just read, but I am excited for it. I'm trying to pull up because I forget what else Megan Miranda has written, but I know I recognize her name. Okay, she's written a lot that maybe I actually haven't read any of. All the Missing Girls, The Last House Guest, Daughter of Mine, Such a Quiet Place, The Last to Vanish, The Only Survivors, The Perfect Stranger, The Girl from Widow Hills. I don't think I've read any of those. So we'll see how this one goes, and I'll update you once we get a bit into it. 46 pages in, and the atmosphere is atmosphering. This is really making me want an early autumn cool breeze on a college campus in a bad way. So I know we read the back, the little blurb in the back, but to start off, we are returning to Beckett's hometown that she hasn't been to for years after whatever happened in the past happened, that we're getting little inklings of, just little drops of hints at what happened in the past. She hasn't returned there except her daughter Delilah, without her knowing, applied to the college that's in their tiny town and got accepted with a full ride. So it only made sense for her to go there. So as we're opening up, Delilah and Beckett are arriving to the tiny town, ready for move-in for Delilah's freshman year at college. I just love it because it feels so relatable, like for moving into college. Like they're going to stay with Beckett's parents who live in the town, and like their car is full of Delilah's dorm stuff, and then they're like walking around and there's like the new student tours happening, and they're moving into Delilah's dorm, and it's talking about like the architecture of the college campus, and that's the part that I've just really been loving. Like this setting, I feel like, is unlocking something in me. So we have that going on, but then also since it's Beckett's first time back in her hometown, she is like starting to spot people that she knew once upon a time, that she like wasn't necessarily expecting to still be there, but also like it's their hometown, so she's like, I guess that makes sense, but it's just kind of like off-putting, you know, to like look across the room and see like your high school ex, or see like someone that we're getting hints at maybe like did something bad. So that's the picture that it's painting. Nothing scary has happened at all. This seems like it's going to be a slow burn thrill, if it is a thrill even. I think it might just be more mystery unless it really shocks me like beyond 46 pages, because it's dropping little hints. It's like the ending lines of chapters are where it's dropping the little hints. Like it didn't matter that the main suspect had vanished, someone had to pay, and then it's a new chapter, or the one I just finished. But I also knew that driving in the night wasn't the only dangerous thing here, but it's not really expanding on that. There have been 2 short chapters though in italics from before, so I'm just curious at this point of like where it's all going to go, but I am so far liking the journey to get there. Something else that I was thinking of is it takes place in the like rural Virginia mountains is what it's saying, and it talks about the howling, which I'm just so curious if this is a real thing, but it's talking about how the way the town is set in the mountains during the spring and into the summer, it basically just gets more hot, more humid as the summer goes on, because the air there is just like settling and condensing and just getting so muggy. And then sometime in like the early fall, like September, October, the howling begins, and it says that it starts as like a whistle where like the cool wind starts to blow through the mountains, like through the valley, and then it becomes like over the course of a day like truly howling, like a whoosh of wind, and it's like pushing all of the hot summer air out and just becomes like so windy for, I don't know if it's a season or if it's like, I don't know for how long they're saying it is, but it's like a marker of time in this small town because it has a tradition that like comes with the howling. And I've just never heard of like a weather pattern like that before. I've also never lived in like the Virginian mountains, so I'm so curious if that's a real thing. I feel like it makes sense if it is a real thing in my limited meteorology knowledge. One last thing I love about it before I get back to reading is that the chapters start with the date and time. Like the next one I'm gonna read is Thursday, August 14th at 4 p.m. It's been so long, I feel like, since I've read a book that does that, and I used to love it as a kid because if it would like match up to the day that I was currently on in the calendar day, like that was just a feeling that hit different. Like it just like scratched an itch in my brain. And this comes out July 29th and it starts in the middle of August, so there are definitely going to be people that are picking it up on the days that like the book is taking place, and I think that's really cool. We're not super positive of the year because it doesn't seem to matter all that much yet, but they did mention that the freshmen in college is the post-COVID generation, so that was like interesting to me because I was, oh wait, is this like the real world? Like it's realistic, like it takes place, it's, you know, contemporary, non-magical, all of that, but I feel like it just added an extra layer of realism to be like, oh, the post-COVID generation going to college, like that's strange to think about. Checking in from page 167, we're about to start chapter 16, and I am loving this book so far. It is a slow-paced mystery so far, but in a suspenseful way. Like somehow, through the book part that I have read, we don't really know much more than where we started, but it's creepier that way because it's like Beckett is moving through her day, trying to figure some things out of the like mystery that's going on, and truly like nothing's been figured out, and so she is feeling more and more dread the hours that go on, but there's not fully like evidence to validate that. And so it's a lot of non-action, but coupled with the kind of spine tingly, like maybe nothing's going on, or maybe there is someone in my house that I don't know about. Maybe nothing's going on, or maybe I am being watched and followed. And the way that it's written, number one, has still been so atmospheric and is just making me want to be like on a college campus at fall in the mountains, despite the creepiness. But then number two really is sending some tingles down my spine. Like I was reading it at night the other night, and then I got up to go to the bathroom and my whole apartment was dark. I like was scared. I was like, maybe there's someone in here with me. I'll see if I can find, oh, here it is. So we're in Beckett's parents' home and they're out on a trip, and she's trying to find some things out about like her daughter's time that she's been in college so far. And in Beckett's childhood room, she had always written like poetry quotes or just like words that she had thought of just like around her room, around the top of it. And so she's laying in her childhood bed, suspicious that maybe her daughter has like been there recently, Another line caught my eye, something near the top of the far wall in blocky black ink, something I didn't remember. I sat up, the words tilting into focus. Hey there, Delilah. The line jarred me at first. How long had it been since I'd sat in this spot reading the quotes? I scanned the wall for evidence of any other new additions. And there, another, also near the ceiling, in that same deep black thick lettering. I can still see you. Goosebumps rose up on the back of my neck. Was this another song title? Something Delilah listened to? Part of a game that she played? I couldn't imagine my father writing that. It sounded so unsettling without context. Threatening, even. Not something to include on the wall where his granddaughter slept. I stood from the bed, walking closer, searching now, scanning for anything out of place. One more, just over the open doorway. I swallowed air, my throat tight. Not a list of song titles at all. Above me, instead, I read the final line of the message. Did you think you could hide? It's like the whole journey so far has been things like that, to where it's like, maybe it's nothing. Or also, maybe the shivers I'm getting are going to lead up to something big. So far the journey has been great. I don't know how this is going to end, because I don't know, like, I don't know so much right now. But that's like really fun right now in the book. I'm really eating it up. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really eating it up. Page 200 check-in, and a few pages ago we found out something that felt really relieving. Like, I was kind of questioning it. I was like, this feels like good news, but then like realizing how much of the book there still is remaining, and it's slowly coming back to me. It's like the sense of like relief and coziness, and it's slowly coming back to me, all of the like clues and happenings that have been happening throughout the book that like are still not answered. And it's like the spook factor, like it tricked me into feeling comfortable, and now the spook factor is going back up. Needless to say, I'm still thoroughly enjoying this. I finished it. I finished it last night, which honestly was a decision because it was dark outside. My blinds were open so I could see the darkness, and I was sitting on my couch and I was looking over at my little balcony door and seeing that it was unlocked. I was spooked. I had spooked myself, but I loved that book. If you are watching this after July 29th, 2025, it is published. You can go read it. It's been a while since I've read a thriller like that, I feel like, and I don't know exactly what was different about it, but it was like a snowball. Like, it started so slow paced. There were 3 parts that it like separated itself into, and the first part was super slow and like the atmospheric, and that was when I was like, oh, this really makes me want a cool autumn breeze on a college campus. And then the second part is like, okay, some pieces are coming together, but as the second part is finishing up, you're like, wait a second, like, you had me comfortable thinking these pieces were coming together, and there are all of these things that are coming back to me that we still need to address. Like, things are actually not great right now. That's like the second part. And then the third part is just like figuring things out, and it's not so twisty and fast-paced, but it's like fast-paced in the sense it's like you're finding things out, and when you start finding things out, then the pieces are actually coming together. And I really loved it. I didn't spend a lot of energy like trying to figure it out before we got there in the book, but I didn't really see the like conclusion coming, and then I really didn't see the last pages coming. The like whodunit kind of part of it, it was like 1 page before it revealed it. 1 page, I was like, ooh, I bet it's this person. Flipped the page and it was. So I don't really know if I get points for that because they were leading me there 100%, but I loved it. I think I'm giving it, on Goodreads, I put it as a 5-star. I think it's like a rounded up to a 5-star, whether that's 4.5, 4.75, I don't know. I'm getting tired. I'm like rating fatigued of things. So you can hear me say it was good, I recommended it. On Goodreads it shows 5 stars. I think I'll settle with like 4.75, and I just think it was a great time getting there. It really makes me want to read other of Megan Miranda's books. So if you've read any of the other ones that I listed out whenever we were looking her up, because I know she's an author, like I recognized her name. If you've read any of her other ones, let me know where I should start, or if they're just like all good. We'll have to see. I haven't looked into it yet. But this brings us to our 3rd new release. I think this will be our final one, but our 3rd, possibly final, new release of the video, and this one's like getting getting on a little bit less new released, but I haven't read it yet. Emily Henry and the Great BBL. This is the European cover. I got it in Spain, which makes me so excited for it. I have really liked Emily Henry's other books of varying degrees. Book Lovers has been my favorite. I'm tempted to reread it because it's been a lot of years, what, like 3 years now since I've read Book Lovers, but I've always said Book Lovers is my favorite. What's my ranking beyond then? I feel like Book Lovers, Happy Place, Beach Read, Funny Story, People We Meet on Vacation. Is that all of them? Feels like a good ranking for me. So I've seen super mixed reviews. I'm definitely going into this with like the words of other people bouncing around in my head of super mixed reviews. I have seen some people say it is great and they love it. And I have seen some people say, Miss Emily, what were you doing? You should have waited like another year to edit this more and then come back on us with an actually good book. I have seen both things. And so I really am curious, but I'm going to try to go in with an open mind. I'm planning on starting to read it just like throughout the day today. And then once I'm a little bit of the way in, we will talk about like what it's actually about and how I'm feeling about it. Forgive me, I was doing laundry and then realized I wanted to update you because I've actually made it to page 155 of The Great BBL. And so far, I do not get the hate. So far, I am loving it. So quick setting, Alice and Hayden are both in a fictional Georgia island. However, this fictional Georgia island has really made me want to book a trip to some Georgia islands. It gives Tybee Island in a big way to me. It feels like the perfect size to be Tybee, even though it's fake and not a real island. But the setting is strong, I feel like. Maybe it's just because I already have like an affinity towards Georgia coast, but the setting is strong. Alice and Hayden are both writers and they both are traveling to this island because it is where Margaret Ives lives, but nobody knows that anymore. So Margaret was a big socialite from a big name family back in the day and basically just dropped off the face of the earth, I think several decades ago at this point, on purpose, just trying to live out like a normal, calm life. But now she's wanting a biography written and both of these writers, Alice and Hayden, are meeting with her for a month, essentially auditioning for the part. They're gonna meet with her, do interviews, show her what they come up with at the end of the month, and she'll pick which one of them she wants to write her story. Because of that setup is why people say it's similar to the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I think that thought has been in my head because I've heard other people say it. However, a main difference is that Alice is our main character. The writer, Alice, is our main character. In this book, not Margaret. Like, we do go to Margaret and we are hearing about Margaret's life, some. At this point, I haven't felt like it's too much. Like, it's just kind of little tidbits. I do feel like there's been parts so far where Margaret's story doesn't feel as fleshed out as it could be, but I feel like if it had gotten fleshed out more, that's when it would have felt like it was too much. But so far I haven't gotten bored during that part. Alice and Hayden meet each other, realize that they're each other's competition, and those are our love interests through the book. So far I haven't gotten the complaints on the romance in the book either. I feel like we've had banter, I feel like we've had personality, I feel like I had just enough time to kind of start chanting kiss, 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 and then they did, and then something happened to where I was like, oh shoot, how are we gonna come back from this? But also still kiss, kiss, kiss. And so I've really been liking seeing that develop. Now I still have the like whole last half of the book to go, so things could change. I could start to feel different ways, but I was apprehensive going into this book because I feel like I've seen it get so much like hate. People just like not being impressed, and like it's not as if it's the greatest literary work of the century, but so far I've been getting similar feelings as I have to other Emily Henry books, and I've just really been enjoying it. I feel like the way that personalities of the main characters are so vibrant, like you know them, I feel like, or you know what it would be like to hang out with them based on her writing, and I like that. And I like seeing humor and like funny situations. Like I'm just liking it so far. Sue me, sue me. If it were to end right now, I'm glad it's not because there's several more things that I would like to be happening. Kiss, kiss, kiss. If it were to end right now, it would get a high rating for me. So we'll have to see what happens in the latter half, but I wanted to jump in literally as I'm doing laundry. I was like, oh shoot, I haven't told them my thoughts. I wanted to jump in and let you know that right now, I'm really liking this. Page 359. I have made progress, but it is like a week, if not more later. No, I think it's more. I think it's 8 days later. I have been making slow progress through this book, and I'm realizing that maybe I should have listened to the people who'd actually read it. It's taken a turn for me. I'm kind of pushing through till the end. I felt like the lead up was good. And then right now, I'm getting what people have said about like maybe wishing there was some more editing time, or the fact that the romance just like isn't what you want it to be. I've been skimming some parts, and I usually don't do that for books, but in the parts where we're learning about Margaret's life, we are covering like a whole lifespan with lots of events in what ultimately is only a few pages. Like it's maybe like total 50 pages through the book or something, which is a lot to cover in that amount of time. And it feels as though I'm just like reading through Alice's like notes after the interview, or like her very roughest draft of her biography that she's gonna write, which like makes sense for the story if that's true. And maybe Emily did that on purpose, where it's just like, this is the story, how Alice is like writing it right now. Maybe she did that on purpose. However, that doesn't really make it fun to read. Like it feels lackluster, I would say, in those parts. And right now we're just trading between those pages of like learning more about Margaret's life, which does seem interesting, but it's just, it can't be fully fleshed out in the amount of like time we have, because it's not the full story. It's not the book. It's just like a little piece of the book. And then when we're not in Margaret's story, we're just with Hayden and Alice, and they're just like so in love, like their lives are changed because they've found each other, kind of. Like that's what it's saying, but it doesn't like feel like that. I don't know. I just feel like we've crossed the border into like, oh, now they're in a relationship, so they like don't care to like banter anymore. And like the fun part was them like getting to know each other and being uncertain. And I feel like once we crossed that line of like, no, now we're good and we're both acknowledging this, it just like is boring. It's just really boring. It's really boring. And I think it's like leading us up to have that like big reveal, but I don't think it's gonna rock me all that much. We'll see. I mean, I still have 70 pages or so like a lot could happen in that. But what I'm fearful of is that in those 70 pages, like half of them are gonna be Margaret's story, and I'm just gonna be kind of bored, which I feel bad saying, because like truly some of the stuff that's going over in her life that they're talking about is interesting, and I'd like love to hear more about it in like an actual story, but it's just like not enough detail. It's the kind of thing where it's like your husband brings back gossip from his friends, like a piece of news, and then doesn't have any follow-up questions and like no further details for you. That's what it kind of feels like reading Margaret's life. I think the life that Emily has written for Margaret would have been interesting in like a Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo type thing, where like it is the full book, like it could have been, but instead we have Hayden and Alice, and like it just, I'm not liking it as much as I was in the beginning. I don't know yet what my final rating will be. It'll depend on the end and everything, but right now I am powering through. My goal is to finish, like do a little reading sprint until I finish. I think it should be achievable, but I'm just ready to be done with this book. I feel bad for not liking it. I do. I didn't end up liking it. I was just going to look at my like little rating scale that I follow. I feel like it's easier for me to have words to put with star ratings, and I think I'm gonna end up around like maybe rounding up to a 2, to where the book is like okay. It's between not bad and okay. I think that's kind of where I'm landing. And I feel bad because I can tell that Emily Henry was trying new things, but I also feel like myself and other people like her books as they were, and it is totally her own prerogative to try new things and write about what she wants to write about. That is just fine. But I do just personally prefer the other books. I like already wasn't loving it, and then the last 2 pages I was just like, what? Really? I don't know. I just feel like the romance started good. And I think it started good because I also was holding on to the hope that it was going to be like an Emily Henry written romance. As you saw, I was liking it. It really just crossed over to where all of a sudden it's like, we cannot live without each other. I cannot imagine a day without you. And I just didn't feel it. Like, I was not made to love either character. Like, all of a sudden they were loving each other. And so they'd be talking and I'd be like, really? Him? That's what you're feeling this about? And then it did just get muddled with the stories. The like reveal, I feel like you could see from an absolute mile away. To me, I've always liked Emily Henry books too, because I feel like there's a romance and then there's like another theme that is being written alongside it, like whether it's a healing journey or like focusing on a relationship. Like I remember in Book Lovers we have the sister relationship, and we have, I'm not gonna remember exactly because it's been a long time since I've read it, but something about like Nora and like coming to terms with her personality and just like liking her own self. Like there's just other themes, but not too many. So you get a focus on the other themes while also having the romance alongside it. And I feel like this one just was focusing on too many things to where it didn't thread all the way through the book like other books of hers have, in a way that just like feels really nice. Like for Happy Place, it's like, yes, there's the romance, but it's also about like adult friendships and how life is different after college, and about like how you're gonna spend your life and the decisions you make. Like there's other themes that are with the romance, but it's not so many that it's just like muddled up. And I feel like this one was a little muddled up, and I guess maybe that's what people are saying whenever they're like, maybe it should have been better edited. I imagine that writing it, Emily got like excited, which I love for her, but I just wish that maybe we had like niched down a little bit, like decided a little bit more like what the book was going to be about, and then like committed to that without doing so much to get there. Bummer. I'm bummed about it. I wanted to be like an outlier that really liked it, but no. I have so many ideas coming up for future book videos as well. I just feel like there's this spark from reading and then talking about it that I'm just loving. I'm loving watching BookTube, and so I just want to contribute to the space as well. If you have any ideas or anything you'd like me to read, definitely let me know. But subscribe for more. Like this video if you like it so that I know how we're feeling about the book videos, and I'll see you next time.